Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites. Today I wanted to do an update of how I'm planning right now because that's the question I seem to get the most, and I try to address it a lot on Instagram. On Instagram, at Amanda's Favorites is my handle name. I do weekly pictures of the planner I'm using, and I try to keep you updated on that. So if you want constant updates and to see that, Instagram is where I check in daily. It's where I get to interact with you guys more, and it's where I do my giveaways. So I'd love you to join me there. But anyway, I don't change planners as much as people think I do. The goal of my channel is I love to review all different planners for any company. Mainly, I don't think I've said no to but one so far. I love to review planners that I think are good planners for anyone, as long as they're quality and they're not falling apart. And I like to put them out there and show everybody what's out there and help smaller companies too. And along that journey, I love to show you guys how I'm planning. And of course, as I'm given a lot of planners to review, I definitely think about using some of them sometimes, but I do a lot of planning ahead. I will show you how I plan. So using a lot of planners is not what I want to do. I only used 3 planners in 2017. I planned in Inkwell Press Flex, I planned in Passion Planner, and I planned in Erin Condren starting in September of 2017. Now it's January of 2018, and I'm staying in my Erin Condren right now. So while I loved all those 3 planners, those are probably still my top 3 planners that I used in 2017. Those are still my top 3 favorites, and I have videos all about those. I'm just feeling like I want to stay in my Erin Condren right now, and I go with what I'm feeling. I don't force myself to try out all the different planners that I'm given to review, because that would really mess my life up. I'm very busy. I'm a busy stay-at-home mom who homeschools her youngest child, who also has a busy church calling and running this channel, which is literally like a part-time job, and run a household. And so I'm busy like all of you guys. And if I was constantly trying to switch planners, it would really mess me up. I'm going to show you how I'm planning right now and where I plan to stay right now. So right now I'm in Erin Condren. I'm in vertical colorful. I did end the year in a vertical neutral last year, but since I had both to review for you guys, I had bought both. I decided to change to the colorful, and I'm really loving the colorful. So I wanted to see how I felt about that. One thing I've added in here, I added just an extra cover that I have. It's just a Thanksgiving cover, because I like to change my covers out a lot, and I was sticking all my sticky notes on the cover, and then every time I changed out my covers, I had to move my sticky notes off. So then I started keeping my sticky notes on this page, and that was working fine, but I just wanted to see if it was easier to grab and if I liked it better being on a cover, and I think I do. So I just stuck this extra cover in here. All it adds is just a little more stability to the book, and since my book is on my desk pretty much all the time, 99% of the time, I mean, it's carried around the house, but I don't usually take it out of the house. That works great for me. I cut up 2" by 1.5" sticky notes, which I buy big packs off Amazon. This pack happened to come with these 3 colors in it. I wish they sold just a plain white also, but it is fun to have pink in February and stuff when it goes with the color of the month. So I cut those into thirds, and that is just the way I've planned for many years. For stuff that I'm not sure about, or I want to be able to remove easily, or just stuff I want to stick down quickly, I use these sticky notes for a lot of things, and I like to have them right there to grab. I also use them on my Inkwell wall calendar, which is right above my desk, which I have a whole video about also, and I show on Instagram a lot. Okay, so for the year in review, I don't use this for anything special. I just circle major dates or holidays or days off school that I want to remember. So days off school, I've been underlining and circling. Major holidays, I've been circling. Weeks off school, I underline. So nothing huge, but the underline means for off school. I don't look at this a lot, but sometimes I might want to flip here. I don't look at this a lot because I keep our school calendar in the back pocket, our school district calendar also. But I just thought I would do that. are 12 boxes here, which you can use for anything because they're not labeled with a month. But I used her monthly stickers that came in her seasonal sticker book, and I used those over. I started writing the months in, but you guys know I'm not the neatest handwriter. So I was like, oh, there's a sticker in here for every month in the seasonal sticker book. I will use those. And I put our major appointments like a dentist, well checks, orthodontist, eye doctor. Anyway, I put those major things on here. And then I also put car insurance, HOA dues, money that we only pay once a year to twice a year. And some of them, I don't even have a quarterly, no. Most of them are once a year to twice a year payments, life insurance. So I will just be able to remember when that is coming up. So I can look at the month and know our life insurance is due in July. I can look in June and remember our HOAs are due in June and December. So that type of thing. I summarize the month here in the monthly page, and I keep track of important things for the month. I like to keep track of when we go to my husband's in-laws. I like to keep track because we try to go at minimum once a month. They have a twice a month Sunday dinner there. We try to see my parents once a month, and then we usually write down when we get donuts so that my youngest son is not like we haven't gotten donuts this month, because my thing is we'll get donuts once a month. Sometimes we get them more than that, but at least he can have them once a month. And then a date when we go on our date that month, and visiting teaching for the month, which is for my church. So I like to keep track of major things and then just lists for the month, and that's just keeping track of stuff for me. Then I do fill out my monthly in here, even though my main monthly is my Inkwell desk pad wall calendar, which is on the wall right in front of my desk in the kitchen. But I do try to keep this monthly pretty up to date also. So this is what my planning looks like. This was a light week because we went back to school midweek from the holiday right here. But this is another week. So I put all my appointments or non-negotiable errands in the top box. So if the top box is empty, that tells me, I don't have any appointments anywhere to go that day, or anywhere I have to take one of my kids, or any non-negotiable errands. So the top box tells me a lot. Then the next two boxes are completely open for just, I start listing to-do things I need to remember on that day. And I also list weekly to-do things I want to remember here. Sometimes I remember to put my sunrise and sunset here. I do not get really filled up in here because I use my Inkwell Press daily. And before I was using this, I was using Emily Lay daily. And after that, I was using just an Erin Condren hardbound notebook. I've always used something for daily. And that way, this doesn't get so congested. Okay, so we'll talk about that. So those are my appointments and go-to non-negotiables for the day. Important things I want to note, like the end of the third 6 weeks, or to remember no school tomorrow before I turn the page to know that. I'll note those on there. I love to note my temperatures in whatever color I picked to write in that month. So I'm using my Erin Condren dual tip markers, and I really love them. I really do. And I'm picking a color that coordinates with each month. I love how her colors coordinate with the seasons. That is one of my favorite things about her planner. So I'm picking a color that goes with that, and I'm writing my temps in all week. And then I also write my workouts in. And that just helps me keep track of stuff that way. It's a nice glance when I am looking back at my week. So each week, looks a little bit different, but some weeks get more congested looking than others. Now here's what it looks like planning ahead. So this is a week we're not into yet. This is next week. And you can see how much I plan ahead and how my months fill up ahead of time. And hence why no, I don't want to be changing planners all the time, because I am not someone who sits down once a week who has a blank planner and fills it in. I absolutely have to fill it in as events come up. Hence why I have sticky notes for things that I'm like, I know that they could change or be moved. A sticker you can also move or change, but sometimes they stick down harder. And this you can move and just reuse. And a sticker, generally, I can't do that. So this is what my pre-planned weeks look like. I'm not a huge sticker person, although I really have enjoyed the Erin Condren seasonal sticker books. Those are the only ones I've used until just recently. I just bought a few of her sticker sheets with an order, and I'm kind of in love with those. But I don't want to use them too much because I really use most of my planner for planning. And like I said, that's going to take up my temperature gem for that week. So I figured I would just write it down here because my bottom box doesn't usually get a whole lot of action. So I can definitely write my temperature gem in there, but I generally like to keep it down here. So I really don't want to stickerify my whole planner because I need it for functional planning. When I plan way ahead, I'm using her stickers that came with the planner, but a lot of times I'm not, and I'm just writing stuff in. But this is what my planning ahead looks like with sticky notes and all in there. So, yeah, that is how I pretty much have always planned. I have never sat down and made a pretty fancy planner and done a spread. I need to keep all my information in here like ongoing and have it to where I can go and put appointments and things ahead of time, not just, I don't have time to sit down, you know, an hour a week and fill in my planner beautifully. That's not what I choose to fit in my life right now. I understand that's like a hobby and it's a really fun thing for some people. It's just not something that I personally enjoy. So that's what it looks like planning ahead in my Erin Condren. Like that. I already have, you know, events on months and days as they come up and reminders for weeks. Even things I want to remember that week as far ahead as June. I know I can stick something in there right now and remember it that far ahead. So I really do like that. Now, I leave this laid out on my desk every day. It's open. It's open on my desk to that week. It's pretty much never shut. So while that stays open on my desk to that week, then I have a daily planner. And like I said, before this, I used Emily Lay, and then I also used an Erin Condren hardbound notebook. I have videos all on that. So I don't need a fancy daily planner. I can just use a little notebook. But I tried this Inkwell one, and I'm really enjoying it, so I'm going to stay with it right now. I started in this one in October. Yeah, sometime mid-October, 10/24 is when I started in it. And this sits next to me. My daily to-do list always sits next to me at my table spot in the kitchen as I am homeschooling and making food all day and just doing housework all day. That's like my home spot. And so this sits next to me to keep me on track. And this page is also big enough to jot down any possible notes I want to use. I also love that Inkwell's daily is undated because I don't usually use it on the weekends. I usually use my hardbound notebook, my Erin Condren, or just a tablet of paper on the weekend because our weekends are just as busy but different than a weekday, and I am not sitting at my table spot all weekend. We're all sitting at the table to eat all weekend, and in fact, I can't even have my book open there the whole weekend. So our weekends are different and just that we're all home, but I'm just as busy and I still need a list. So I love that you can write in the date, that it's not dated. I love the format of her page on this, and I have whole videos reviewing this planner. I have one whole complete video and even another one, I think, comparing it. So if you're interested in this planner, check that out. But real quick, here's her time slots, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., split in the middle if you have half-hour appointments. I don't have a lot of appointments, so I'm not usually using those time slots. I am usually just making extra lists there. If I do have an appointment that day, I will fill it in. Notes, I'm always using that to scribble stuff. Immediate, important, and significant, I definitely use those to sort out my tasks of the day. Today's focus, I use a lot. I always circle the day of the week and maybe write it in here, the date. Today's accomplishment, I love that this is on here because although I don't always fill it in, it makes me think about it. And on the days I do fill it in, it kind of makes you feel good when you can write something in there that you've been really wanting to get done and you accomplished it. scorecard for the day you could use in so many ways. You can score whatever you're working on, or you can score your mood for the day. You could score how your eating went, or if you drank all your water, or if you were patient with your kids, whatever you want to score for that day. And then the 3 boxes at the bottom, one I've been using generally for weather, one for workout. Even though I record that in my Erin Condren, I kind of like to see it next to me all day. Why not? And also because I think this book will just kind of be like a record that I keep, and it'll be fun to just have it in there. But I definitely don't fill it in every day. I don't fill in the temperature every day, but many days I do. And then one of my nice subscribers gave me the idea, since I love sunrises and sunsets, I could use this box for that, because I wasn't permanently using this box for anything. But I've not been great at filling that in every day, because it's just, I have an app on my phone that you can look that up on, but I just haven't been great at filling it in. But I do love to keep track of that type of thing. So I have been loving her daily. The biggest draw to this is probably her 140 GSM paper. Not only do I love her setup and it being undated, but I love the 140 GSM paper because it literally is the most luxurious planner paper you can write on. Erin Condren is 120, but the papers are different. So even if they were the same GSM, papers feel very different. Inkwell paper just feels like butter to write on. I don't know how to describe it. One of my subscribers said that one time, and I was like, yes. I just call it the most luxurious paper I've ever written on. It truly is a joy to write on any of Inkwell's papers, and to know nothing bleeds or goes through. I mean, it just feels so frivolous and just like a luxury that I get to write on this kind of paper every day for my daily list. It just seems like amazing to me that we live in a world like that, where my daily list can literally be on this amazing paper, and I can scribble and write all over it and have this luxury of starting over every single day. I love pen and paper, and I just love this paper. So that's what I'm using right now. That is my main planning. Okay. Now, if you want to see a little extraneous planning, I have a whole video on this, but the Hobonichi Weeks, I just really wanted to get to try. There are so many things you could use this for. It would actually make an amazing meal planner. Your meals could go down here and your weekly grocery list here, and it's so small, so lightweight. It fits in your purse so easily. If you don't know about the Hobonichi and the Weeks, I have a whole video about it. So I don't want to make this video extremely long and go into it. But my sister's using it for daily gratitudes, where she puts in a gratitude a day. And then at the end of the week, she kind of recaps her week and writes about how she's seen the Lord's hand in her life that week, looking at her daily gratitudes. And I love that idea too. I might actually do that, but I'm keeping a lot of journals already right now. Right now, I'm trying it out as just a planner that's easy to take with me in my purse if I just want to go out and take notes somewhere and kind of know like what's going on in my weeks. So I just put the main timed events or places we have to be of the week here and nothing else. And then just main things that I really want to get done that week here. It's just kind of reiterating what's in my Erin Condren. Yes, it's rewriting it. I don't know if I'll keep it up the whole year, but right now I'm liking it. I'm liking having this portable thing I can throw in my purse and know what's going on. Although I do record main appointments on my phone also, but there is nothing like seeing it on paper. So yeah, there's so many uses for this I didn't even talk about. There's so many things it could be used for. This is the most versatile little book that I know of. They also have monthly spreads in it, so you get your months and your weeks. And then you get a lot of notes pages at the end that even has an index. So it's really, really handy and just can be used so functional in so many ways. And I wanted to show this for meal planning or any normal planning. They have dots to guide you if you want to divide your day into 3 sections. So that's also a plus. So the Hobonichi Weeks is just kind of like an extra this year, because after seeing and reviewing the Hobonichi Cousin, I really wanted to try this out, and it's so inexpensive, like $22, that I'm really glad I got it. So that's something fun I'm playing with this year. Something else I'm using on my desk this year, which I also used at all the probably last 6 months of last year, I'm using my Inkwell Press for food and fitness tracking. And I don't want to show you all my information in it. I don't fill it out every day, and that's okay. But I would say I fill it out like 90% of the time right now because it just helps to remind me to stay on track. I use the top box for my workout of that day, what I did. I use the middle box for if I had a Diet Coke or not, because I'm trying to get off of that again. So if I had a can or not. And then either a check or an X. And all that means to me is check, I feel like I stayed on track for the day. And X, I feel like, no, I ate too many treats. And then if I'm keeping track of my food, I'm writing it all right here. And then if I'm keeping track of calories, just going out beside the food. And then at the end of the day, my calorie total can go here. But I'm not really vigilant about that. And when I'm keeping track of calories, a lot of it is estimated. So, and yes, I know I have used an app on my phone before for that when I wanted to try that out. And I just love pen and paper, and I like this sitting on my desk, and I love Inkwell Press. So since I'm not using this for my daily planning right now, I'm absolutely love using it for food and fitness tracking and still being able to use it. So this sits out on my desk, and the reason why I'm using the coiled versus the bound coil free is because I have a lot sitting on my small desk, and I only need to see the day I'm on food and fitness wise. And so that's why I leave it. I went with the coiled for this one. So it would take up half the space. And lastly, for the first time ever, I'm kind of doing some budgeting in my Erin Condren Monthly Deluxe. Seeing all the budgeting videos inspired me to try to keep track of some things that I've never kept track of before. And I will do an entire video on this. I haven't yet, but I will show you guys what I'm doing. I'm not doing the Dave Ramsey program, and I don't do sinking funds and all that. But I have never kept track of like how much we're spending every month on groceries. That's my main thing I want to keep track of. And I want to compare my months and see, through the 12 months of the year, how that stacks up. So right now, the main places I go for groceries are Sprouts, Kroger Click List, and Kroger sometimes for a run-in trip, and Target. So I have started to list every time I go there and how much I spent. At the end of the month, I will add this up, and then I will have a monthly total, which I hope to put in right here at the front. Keep my monthly totals and be able to look at that. So that should be interesting since I've never kept track of this before. Since I was keeping track of the 3 big grocery places we go, I thought I would keep track of Amazon, but I already have lost track and not writing that down. But that's easy to look up online, and I may go back in at the end of the month and add that. I thought I would keep track of medical because that would be easy to keep track of. And then I thought it would just be good to keep track of miscellaneous since I'm already doing this. But I've already missed a lot of miscellaneous. That is harder than one would think. But I am still going to give it a go. And then at the end of the month, I think these 2 pages will be a really good scope. So I have a full review on this planner, the Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly. It's months only. And if you want to know what it entails, and I will be doing a full video after I've been tracking my expenses in here for a good month or 2, I will be doing a full video to talk about that too. But I just thought I would throw that in there. So that is my main planning, you guys. Thanks for watching. That's where I am right now at the end of January 2018, and we will see how the year goes, and I will keep you guys updated every couple months if you're interested. Okay, happy planning. Until next time, have a great day. Bye, guys.